at the moment, we all know that climate change is probably the biggest issue that humanity's ever faced. It's going to be our biggest challenge, and it can be pretty debilitating to think about. But the good thing is that climate change, it unites us with every single other human being on the planet, every plant, every animal. So it's actually our time to come together and to cooperate and work on solutions. So that's the exciting thing about climate change. The not so exciting news is the fact that it's escalating and we're not actually keeping up as a global society with dealing with that problem. So we're continuing to release emissions that are making the problem worse, and we've seen this continuous lack of government action and willingness to take on this challenge and really deal with it. So in New Zealand at the moment, we have seen a number of really worrying steps to actually increase our emissions. So the fossil fuel industries have basically been given easier regulations so that they can get in and they can extract for coal, they can extract for oil. The deep sea oil exploration program that's being started off our coast, that's the frontier of the fossil fuel industry. They've come all the way down to New Zealand because they're in a vulnerable position. They know about climate change. They know people are waking up and they're just trying to get every last scrap of oil and profit that they can, before everyone turns off it for good. And, you and I know that New Zealand, we shouldn't be a part of that. We're solutions people, and we don't want to lock our global community into catastrophic climate change. That's not what we're about. We've also seen this continuing constriction of our rights as New Zealanders to stand up and say this is not okay, and we formally oppose what you're doing. So there have been a number of law changes and a number of shutting out of the public on consultation, and that's really worrying. That's something we should be very concerned about. So the message we're sending today is for the government to get their heads out of the sand when it comes to climate change. But also I think it's more than that. I think people have been trying to communicate with our government about climate change for a long time. They've been trying for 6 years to get our government to take on this challenge and acknowledge the problem, and it just hasn't sunk in. So I think today we're no longer sending a message to our government, we're actually sending a message to the globe and to fellow New Zealanders that our government are not representing our interests and they're not representing our attitudes. And this kind of thing, this is what we're about, and this is the direction that New Zealand's going to go, because all of us are going to cooperate, and we're going to organise as a community and make sure that we take this challenge on and take it seriously. So there's some awesome stuff going on a local level. Our Christchurch City Council has made huge steps. I think we really need to support their position on climate change because they've been really brave. Our mayor, she has basically demanded that there be action on rising sea levels, which, as you can see in a community like New Brighton, that's a huge deal. So we really need to get behind our council and make sure we support them when they're making, awesome progress like this, because I think it's at a level of community organising that we're actually going to be able to take this on.